Now, when I think about it, the blame that he's got to take is the fact that DeRozan ended up in Chicago and not with the Lakers. He has
Expand on that thought if you will.
Well, because DeRozan wanted to play for the Lakers, and when I got the call from his agent, I called the Lakers, said, "Hey, he wants to come home," and DeRozan could have been a Laker instead of a Bull. We could have made that deal, but when Russell and LeBron and them start talking, that's when they nixed that deal and went with Westbrook, and he became a Laker instead of DeRozan. And I think with DeRozan, and then you had a chance to keep the role players, Caruso, KCP, all those guys who are our best defenders. See, they left, and that's why we were a bad defensive team. But if you sign DeRozan, you only trade Kuzma for Buddy Hield, we would be playing in the Western Conference Championship this year with those two guys.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is why Magic Johnson is not with the team right now making any goddamn decisions. Magic Johnson is delusional if he believes that the Los Angeles Lakers, if they had DeMar DeRozan and they kept KCP and Caruso and they get Bradley Beal, they're going to the Western Conference Finals. Wrong. Because you forgot one of the common denominators out there. LeBron Ramon James. That man will find a way to screw it up because he's not playing defense, Magic. That man is a liability. He stunts people's games. How is DeRozan gonna do his thing playing with LeBron? See, you gotta factor all of that in. How is Bradley Beal gonna play his game with LeBron? Now, DeRozan will figure out how to play his game with Bradley Beal. But how they gonna feel when LeBron James gonna want the ball at the top of the key, where he could see everything? Now, DeRozan is the mid-range, the mid-game. He got to get in a rhythm. You just can't pass him the ball when you trying to slash to the basket and kick it out to DeRozan and he just pull up for a jump shot. That's not his game. They styles don't mesh. If LeBron is a mid-range shooter and so is DeRozan, these are mostly on-the-ball players. DeRozan is really good with the ball in his hands. He gets to his spots, he can pull up and hit a fadeaway jump shot or just pull up jump shot. He's gotten really efficient up close, keeping his body more centered, and he's gotten more confident in making those shots down the stretch, where before he would look for a bailout from the referees. And I'm starting to see a lot of that now still. When games get tight against the good, better teams, they're forcing someone else to be the hero. But when the game gets like they need a basket, it's like DeRozan goes in and tries to force the action and force the referees to put him to the line to save him. I can't really say he's a take over the game type of guy. I mean, the Bulls, yeah, they were hot, but now look where they at. They didn't slid all the way down. And yeah, DeRozan's been having great numbers and some great games, and he was an MVP candidate. But damn, Russ is giving you 22, he's giving you like 22, 7, and 5. I'm like, well, damn. If you can get that, then you pretty much I'm like, what more do you want him to do? I mean, yeah, his shooting percentage hasn't been there early, but now he's not taking as many threes. He's actually played a little bit better. I mean, they got turnovers and everything, but he's actually played a little bit better than what they've anticipated. But Magic is delusional. They're not gonna beat the Phoenix Suns. No way. They don't match up well with them. Even with AD, you don't match up well with him because AD is not a 5. You could easily body AD, get him out of position, You're not gonna out rebound Phoenix. You're not gonna beat them. You don't have it in you to beat them. So that team who's only gotten stronger over the years, because now they've been playing with each other. Those guys know any given night, whoever got it going can really beat you. And they know how to go to that person and feed to them. They all know how to play with each other on Phoenix, So it's a little bit of a difference on Phoenix than it is on a lot of teams. The Lakers will have to play those top teams. And these guys know how to play five on the court. No matter who's out, they play as a team, so everybody's confident they can get the job done. Each man step up. This is what practice and communication is like. Magic is just caught in the stardom. Get some stars, put them on the team. Teams ain't playing like that no more. You look at the Phoenix Suns; they got the number one bench in the NBA. They bench could be a starter on any other team and could just wipe out starters. That's why Phoenix is so hard to beat. Well, the thing is, Magic is out of touch, and they keep him in because he has namesake. You can't say Lakers without Magic. Kobe's not here anymore, so Magic is, that namesake. Even though he stepped down and people just looked at him like, oh, he don't know anything. And Magic knows names. He knows flair. When Jason Tatum and all those guys was out there, he saw Lonzo Ball as the most talented. So it just goes to show you, it's always gonna be a situation where, okay, Magic, here he comes. Let's see what Magic gonna say about it. And he gives his intake, and he's all enthused because he's a Laker. What else he gonna do? What else would you expect him to say in that situation? He's a Los Angeles Laker. That's what Magic is going to say at that moment in time. Um, Realistically, they're getting beat by the lesser teams. When you're losing games to OKC, you're losing games to the Houston Rockets. These are the games that's making the Lakers look really pathetic. They're the second worst team in the NBA right now. Since the All-Star break, they've only won 4 games. That's it. So what people are trying to do now is they're trying to find a way to navigate. Like, we're gonna find a way to navigate all this. We're gonna find a way to take apart what people like and be able to go with it. Now, me, I look at how things played out. I think the Lakers make the play-in. So I don't think they should, but I think they're going to get into the play-in and then eventually get to the playoffs. But they're not going to beat Phoenix. So they're going to have to get to the 7th spot, because if they end up playing Phoenix, they're going home. And it's not going to be easy. I mean, it's not going to be something that's hard to do. They're going to be getting blown out. The team's already broken into pieces right now. So it's a matter of time of waiting to see how this thing really plays out. Because it's hard to hold a team for 4 quarters when you're the Lakers. It's like, oh, you're going to hold this team for 4 quarters? Okay, we love to see that happen. Lakers have blown so many fourth quarter leads and losing the game. These are the things that hurt the Lakers, is they are willing to put themselves in positions to be exploited. So Over time, we'll see how it all plays out. But as of right now, that's what it is. I would love, love, love. Oh, how I would love it. I would love to see Magic air the team out live on the Laker floor. Oh, that would make my day. To see him in front of the whole arena, grab that microphone, and blast the Los Angeles Lakers, starting with LeBron. Oh, that would just be ideal. But when the common denominator is LeBron James, this is going to be the results. How many times have we seen it? How many times have we reacted to it and we acted like nothing? Every time, right? We seem to always have the same common problem, but do absolutely nothing about it. So at one point, you got to ask yourself, who's to blame here? If you've been watching Winning Time, you noticing where Jenny Buss comes from. Exactly what I told you. She came from the entertainment side of the forum. How to get people attracted to the game and coming to the game. She attracts celebrities. That's her job. Basketball isn't her job. So she's going to entrust other people to do it. Now, Rob Pelinka, his scouting report is built around we got to get LeBron James being LeBron James. We got to get to that. That's what's important here. LeBron has to be LeBron, and we got to get him there. That should be the goal. That should be the focus. That's where the love should be. Now, if I hadn't seen this show before, I would say, well, you can't blame LeBron. Who would have thought Westbrook would play so bad? Right? Westbrook went to Houston and they started playing well. If it wasn't for the bubble, who knows? That team could have probably made a bigger run. Then you have Westbrook with Washington with Bradley Beal. Down the stretch, that team played outstanding. It was a real threat to do some things in the playoffs. Russ has never gave anyone any inkling he would perform this bad. This is the first awful season or subpar season Russell Westbrook has ever had in his entire career. And what are y'all calling him? Westbrook. 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 He's never been lauded. He's never been teased this bad in his whole NBA career. Now, we got something else to talk about. Why do we keep falling for the same show? Hmm? We keep falling for the same show. Everybody, it's the same show over and over again. LeBron James has done this in Cleveland. He's done this since he's been with the Lakers. It's the same show. LeBron don't win. It's someone else's fault. Everybody's tired of seeing it. It doesn't progress the team. Nobody's getting better because of it. It's just more of an inconvenience. This season has been the most disappointing season where LeBron James has played the majority of the games. Now, his body's been breaking down and all this. Everybody's going to blame the injuries. But even when they were healthy, they weren't good. You went and picked up all these swing men after starting the season with all these guys that were supposed to be the talent that they decided to keep. His last year in Cleveland, they went to the NBA Finals, right? Because they went to the finals like every year. He would lose, go to the finals, he would lose. So now, once again, the narrative shifts. LeBron leaves Cleveland, he goes to LA. He's supposed to go to the finals. He went to Cleveland right after Miami and continually went to the finals. In the most ridiculous display in the history of sports, they kept putting LeBron James in the NBA Finals, milking this dry. It was pathetic to see. It was embarrassing for the league, but they were making money hand over fist. But what did it do for the game of basketball? What did it show you? LeBron couldn't play with nobody on the team. We're talking 4 or 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, he couldn't play with Rodney Hood. He couldn't play with Isaiah Thomas. He couldn't play with Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade. He couldn't play with any of those guys anymore. He shipped Dwayne Wade out of Cleveland back to Miami after costing the man 20 some $1 million to come play with him. It was the most retarded thing I've ever seen in sports. All for his quest to win when, okay, you get to the finals, you can't beat anyone there. You're not good enough. So you can give people the illusion that if you go out and take more shots and score more points and it doesn't, add to the win column, then sorry, you can't outscore your way out of this one. The problem has been consistent. You have all these guys over there that preaches defense. Okay? You have people on that coaching staff that preach togetherness. You have people on that coaching staff that preach fundamentals. How are the Lakers this bad? Because you could only do your job as if the athlete allows you to do your job. If the athlete is not willing to let you do your job, the results are not going to work out in your favor. That's just it. There's so many different variables that go into this, but what Magic is doing is dancing around the real problem. The real problem is LeBron James. But he can't say that. So he's got to blame LeBron for bringing in Westbrook. Well, he wants to take credit for DeMar DeRozan wanting to come to LA. So once again, it is an ego stroke for LeBron James. That's all it is. Well, we should see. But as of right now, I don't see any reason to continue to talk about Magic and what he said. But this is all he said, really. A lot of people are sending me messages right now. I feel pretty good about it. You know, I never felt any reason to believe that they would do what they were supposed to do. I always felt people would find a way to screw things up. That was always the way I looked at things. People will find a way to F it up. Only when it's in their nature. LeBron James is going to F it up because it's in his nature to F it up. He doesn't play basketball the way it's supposed to be played. And everybody else who grew up with the fundamentals, and it can very much just massacre their game. And then they look bad every night, and they know what the problem is, but the problem is the head of the team. What you gonna do about it? So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm tired. I'm gonna go get some sleep. LeBron lose chips all the time, B. He'll be all right.